The United States is running concentration camps on our southern border, and that is exactly what they are. The fact that concentration camps are now an institutionalized practice in the home of the free is extraordinarily disturbing. And we need to do something about it.
Well, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's extreme comparison between the mass extermination of Jews in the Holocaust to U.S. detention facilities on the southern border, drawing the ire of Republican colleagues, including Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who tweeted, "Please, AOC, do us all a favor and spend just a few minutes learning some actual history. 6 million Jews were exterminated in the Holocaust. You demean their memory and disgrace yourself with comments like this." Well, the Congresswoman clapped back. Watch.
She used the term extermination, which is co-opting the language of that. You know, that term implies that the people who died in the Holocaust, it doubles down on the rhetoric that justified it. And so I think it's, I think she's the one that needs to do her homework.
Well, here now, live exclusively, is Liz Cheney, Wyoming Congresswoman, of course, and chair of the House Republican Conference. Congresswoman, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ed. I appreciate it.
She says you need to do your homework.
You know, Ed, it's interesting. We've had a long history, if you go back, at people who really are left-wing zealots, ignoring history, ignoring facts to pursue their causes, to try to convince people of the rightness of their causes. So it's not new that we would have this going on. You know, what is new is that we have it going on from a member of Congress who really seems to have become the intellectual leader of the Democrats here in the House. And again and again and again, we see this total disregard for the facts, and it's a total disregard for the facts in particular about the Holocaust, but also, you know, you see the extent to which her colleagues and the people who are supposed to be leading the Democrats in the House, Speaker Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, won't stand up and criticize what she's saying and condemn those comments and those statements.
Now, earlier today, she tried to clarify that she was saying there's a difference between concentration camps and death camps somehow, and Chris Hayes from MSNBC defended her, and I noticed that the Auschwitz Museum was on Twitter saying, hang on a second, you both need a history lesson here because of all of the Jews who were exterminated during the Holocaust. What do you say about how she's been trying to backpedal a bit today?
I mean, Ed, at some point you just sort of run out of ways to describe how ignorant this is. You know, we're in a situation where, first of all, we really do actually have a crisis at the border. And if Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez and her colleagues are so concerned about humanitarian conditions at the border, they should have voted 15 times. They've had the chance to vote for a bill that Congressman Mike Rogers has put on the floor to provide $4.5 billion in humanitarian aid for those people at the border. Secondly, we should never be in a situation where somebody is bringing up the Holocaust in this public discourse, particularly diminishing what happened, particularly demeaning the state of Israel, demeaning the memory of the people who are lost. And we really ought to understand and come to an agreement that we aren't going to do that. And any in-depth understanding of history, and frankly, it doesn't have to be an in-depth understanding of history, it could be a surface-level understanding of history, would demonstrate how wrong her comments were. And I'm waiting for her fellow freshmen, I'm waiting for the leaders of her party to stand up and say they disagree, because certainly they ought to disagree. It was really a shameful set of remarks.
They didn't stand up to her colleague Ilhan Omar when they had that resolution that did not even name her after those anti-Semitic comments. Let's shift gears, talk about that crisis on the border that you mentioned. The president announcing in the last 24 hours that next week there were going to be some major ICE raids, and that he's going to try to kick many of thousands of people here illegally out of the country. Is it a smart idea, though, to telegraph that when the Oakland mayor, as you remember, months and months ago, telegraphed a raid in her city, and Republicans were pretty upset about it?
Yeah, look, I think what the president has done time and time again is demonstrate how committed he is to securing our border. You know, the Democrats say they don't believe in open borders, but then you've got comments like those today from Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez suggesting that she's got a problem with anybody who's being detained. I'm not quite sure how you control your border if you don't have a situation where you're detaining people who've tried to cross illegally prior to their court appearances, which is exactly what we're doing. So we have to secure the border. We have a crisis. We've got people coming across in numbers that we have never seen before. And if a nation can't secure the borders and know who's coming here and know where they're going, then we can't keep our people safe. We welcome immigration. Legal immigration is hugely important, but what's happening now at our border is a humanitarian and security crisis. The Democrats should stop playing politics, and they ought to come to the table and actually put the resources behind what they say we need to do.
It's an issue that, in part, propelled the president to victory back in 2016. We're looking live at the rally that's going to happen in a few moments in Orlando. You can expect he'll be talking about cracking down on illegal immigration there as well. Congresswoman Liz Cheney, we really appreciate you coming in live tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Great to be with you.